Okay, today we're going to be talking about Victoria's performances. Now, I've already made mentions of my top Victoria songs, but I do think that the actual performances of a song can elevate its quality. So while I have my own rankings for the best Victoria's tracks, I wanted to take some time to actually go through all of the performances in the show and rank them based on how well I think they are. Because honestly, I could really love a song, but the performance in the show wasn't that great, or I could think a song wasn't really that great, but the performance of it could make it so much better. And there are also so many differences between the way in which songs are performed in the show versus how they sound on the official soundtrack. For example, there are a lot of performances where the supporting cast also have vocals layered into the live performance on the show that are completely absent on the official soundtrack versions. And in a lot of those instances, the vocal performance on the show is so much better than the official soundtrack. So I do think if we are going to be ranking the songs, the best way to do that is by ranking the performances. Now, to my surprise, there are actually a lot of performances in the show, even more so than the official soundtracks, and that's because there were some songs that weren't officially released by Nickelodeon, songs that didn't appear on the official Victoria soundtrack albums. But I was delightfully blown away by just how good some of these performances were. So now let's look into them. The basis that I'm going to be using to determine the ranking of these performances is how good the song is, as well as how good the performances are, and also the context of the performance in the show. So for example, if the performance is very crucial to the plot or deepens character relationship, I'll tend to give it a little bit more of a higher rating. Now we're going to be looking at every single performance in the show except Trina's performance in the re-audition episode and her performances in How Trina Got In, just because those performances in the context of the show are supposed to be bad, so all of those would just be dead last on the list anyways. I'm also not going to be including any of the other characters' audition in the Platinum Music Awards because those performances are only like 10 seconds at most, but I am going to be ranking Tori's audition because it was definitely more fleshed out and was longer. Like, it was a proper audition. So anyways, we have 36 performances to go through, so let's get started with number 36. 36. Star-Spangled Banner. Do y'all remember that episode where Tori performed the national anthem? So in the episode, Tori has to perform the national anthem at a Northridge game, and in the episode, it goes completely wrong when a dog freaks out and drags her across the court, really ruining the performance. But before the performance was ruined by the dog, I actually do think that Tori's rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner was actually pretty decent. It wasn't terrible at all, but I definitely would say it was the least memorable performance in the show, completely ruined and cut short because of the dog. So I think it deserves its place as the least best performance. Not because it was bad, just because it wasn't special. 35.
Somebody ran over your go-kart.
Somebody ran over your go-kart. So do y'all remember that episode where Kat and Robbie made up a bunch of random songs? Yeah, this one was the first one they ever performed in the episode, and it's really funny and surprisingly good at the same time. Even though it was really short, I kind of still really liked it, and then it turned out that Psychoids actually ran over this kid's go-kart.
At night, your parents' driveway looks a lot like mine.
34.
Glass can cut your hand and then you'll bleed across the land.
We're not doing that!
Broken Glass. How can we ever forget the iconic Broken Glass song? So in this episode, the Victoria's gang are trying to write a kid's song for a gig that they've been hired to perform at, and Robbie comes up with a song about broken glass. If anything, this song showed us that Robbie's actually really talented at making up songs and also playing the harmonica. It's one of the more memorable fun songs of the show, and for a lot of people, it's one of the first thing they think of when they think Robbie Shapiro. 33. Bad Boys. I really don't like this song. I just think it's really generic and forgetful to me, and the performance doesn't help it at all. This song actually made me realize why so many people don't like the fact that Tori gets most of the singing songs, because I was honestly so bored during this performance. There's just nothing really special happening, the performance doesn't elevate the song in any way, and the song was already generic to begin with. The only reason I'm ranking it a little bit higher than the other spots because it's actually a full performance. In the context of the show, this song is supposed to be the part where Tori Tori redeems herself after being embarrassed because of her Star Spangled Banner performance, but the twist is that the host is actually trying to sabotage her and embarrass her again. But Andre and Beck intervene at the end of the episode. Instead of Tori getting embarrassed, he gets blown up, which was honestly the most exciting part of the entire performance. 32. Kat's Broadway song. So in this episode, all of the Victorious cast have to re-audition to be readmitted into Hollywood Arts. And for Kat's re-audition, she does a bunch of elaborate acts, she juggles, does a scene from one of her favorite plays, and then she sings a song from a musical. And I think the reason I like this so much was because it really showed off Kat's range as a performer, and what made it even more entertaining was the fact that she had to do all of this with significantly less time than anybody else. So for that alone, I think it deserves its spot. 31.
I wanna let you know that it's all okay.
Okay, so this is a song that has kind of been teased not only in Victorious, but as early back as Zoe 101. It's a song by Backhouse Mike called Okay. In one episode, Andre has developed a crush on Jade after they were working together to write a new song, and while working together, she performs this song for only a couple seconds. Jade already gets so few opportunities to sing in the entire show, and her tone here is just so sweet and soft, which is kind of in opposition to how her character is normally portrayed, that even though it only lasts for a couple seconds, it really leaves a lasting impression. And funnily enough, Liz Gillies is actually married to Backhouse Mike. Number 30.
Hey, Mr. Beck.
Your life's going swell.
Mr. Beck. So this is another song that Kat and Robbie made up in the episode to deliver bad news, and this song is about them delivering bad news to Beck that Andre spilled his grandmother's pee in his car. Again, like the other song, it's really played for comedic relief. It's a really funny way of delivering that news, but I actually do like the song.
Now comes the bad part.
So yeah, sue me. Also, just the way Robbie says yearns will always get me.
The cup fell over and spilled all the urine.
Number 29.
Your favorite foods. Mine is pizza.
Favorite foods. So in this episode, the Victorious gang has to do a performance for a kid's birthday party, and so they have to make up a kid's song, and Andre wrote this song called Favorite Foods. Now, this song would eventually be rewritten to Song to You, but I still do think this version of the song is pretty funny. It's pretty good, the vocal performance is nice, and it's really fun. I think the delivery was really good. Them dressing as the different foods was really funny, so even though it was played for a joke, I still think the performance was okay. Number 28.
Cause I'm moving faster, 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 faster than boys.
Faster Than Boyz. I don't like this song, but I do think the performance in the show made me like it just a little bit more, but just barely. So in the episode, Tori kind of subconsciously stole Andre's idea for a song that they are pitching to a record producer, and in the episode they get a chance to perform the song together, because Tori wrote the lyrics and Andre wrote the music. Now the performance wasn't really anything special or mind-blowing, and I already didn't really like the song, so it just barely made me like the performance a little bit more. But overall, I think this performance and this song was kind of among the weakest official tracks that Victorious had to offer. Number 27.
Chicago, Chicago.
Chicago. How could we ever forget about the iconic Chicago? So in this episode, Trina has to perform a one-woman show, and in the show, she does the song Chicago. We only ever get a couple seconds of the performance, but it has really stood the tests of time. A lot of people in the fandom really remembers this performance and this song. I kid you not, I could quote every line of her Chicago play word for word. That's how much this scene had impacted me. I also love that Daniela is still willing to perform it. Number 26.
This place
Blow. Remember when Kesha had a guest appearance on Victorious? That was kind of weird. I wonder how they ever got her to agree to that. Anyways, so Kesha has a song called Blow, and she performed it on the show for a little bit. It was in the episode Ice Cream for Kesha, where the gang has to find the letters of Kesha's name in pints of ice cream to win a private performance by her in their home, which just sounds like such a terrible idea for a pop star. But anyways, they win and Kesha performs in their home, and she performs Blow. At first I was thinking, why didn't she perform TikTok, which was a more popular song? But then I remember that song songs about drinking and partying, so I guess this was her more kid-friendly song. Anyways, I do think that even though the performance was really short, the whole thing with the confetti gun and her background dancers looking kind of like her, I think it all came together really well. Number 25.
Yeah, Trina, you're staying home tonight.
Oh, Trina. This is hands down the best made up funny song in the entire show. So again, this is a song that Robbie and Kat made up to give Trina some bad news about her date flaking on her and dumping her. Which is just like, they really never miss an opportunity to paint Trina as just completely unlikable and undateable. So anyways, Kat and Robbie deliver this performance and my god, is it so catchy. But not only is it really catchy, it's like actually a genuinely good song and vocal performance.
Hanging out with you was just insane. Just insane now.
Like this part where Robbie just riffs
Is that
and Kat harmonizing and layering with him.
You've been dumped tonight.
It's just so crazy to me that this is just a fake song played for laughs. But yeah, definitely one of the better performances we've seen in the show. Number 24.
Fingers to the face.
It's like that.
5 Fingers to the Face. So we first heard this song when Kat and Trina were singing in the car, but we never heard the whole song because Kat didn't want to sing the other line because she said it was dirty. But we finally get to hear the full version of the song in an episode where Tori, who still hasn't gotten her driver's license, is having trouble getting a ride to school. So Kat suggests for them to take a party bus to school, and when they get on the bus, they realize that the bus driver is actually the rapper for the song 5 Fingers to the Face. So they put on a karaoke version of the song and perform the song in full. We hear the whole song including the line that Kat refused to sing, which was
I'm a pirate and you're my booty.
You know, I like the song. I think it really deserves this place just because of that payoff. Because of the payoff of us finally getting to hear this line and the rest of the song. But it's also definitely catchy, and I also really like when the entire cast gets to participate in a performance and have some lines to sing. And this was one of those rare instances where every character got a part to sing. Even Rex. Number 23.
I think you're swell.
I think you're swell. So in this episode, Kat has been going out with a guy while wearing a costume for a movie she's acting in. So she has to wear a blonde wig and blue contacts so the guy only knows her as a girl with blonde hair and blue eyes. And when he finds out that she's actually not blonde, he dumps her. So Robbie wrote this song to kind of cheer her up, and it's a really important song because it also furthers the plotline of their attraction to each other, which has kind of been hinted at and sprinkled out throughout the show. And this was a really big step in the deepening of their relationship. It's funny, it's silly, but it really does encapsulate how Robbie really cares deeply for Kat. Number 22.
To cheer me up, come on down to me.
Cheer Me Up. So I'm including Tori's Platinum Music Awards audition and not the others because her audition was longer, not just a couple seconds. And her audition was really significant in the episode because it eventually landed her the job of performing at the Platinum Music Awards. This song was actually a cover that was actually originally sung by Natasha, and even though I was a little bit disappointed with Tori's audition, I actually really do like this song. Y'all should listen to the full version, it's good. I do think the vocal performance was good. I don't necessarily think it was the best audition that they showed us, but I do think it was pretty. Number 21.
Wanna make it in America. Make it in America.
Make It in America. Now this performance was really disappointing to me. So after all the rigmarole of trying to get Tori to perform, Jay taking Tori's spot, Jay deciding last minute to be the bigger person and quit and give Tori the spot, we get this lackluster performance for what was the biggest moment in Tori's career, which is her performing at this huge music show, and it's a song that I don't think is bad, but it's very middle of the road, and the performance is also very middle of the road. And it's crazy because Tori, even when she's performing by herself, has had better performances. So if anything, this should have been the best performance in the entire show, but it wasn't that. In all honestly was one of the more forgettable performances in the show. This is one of those rare instances where I do feel like the song was not improved by the performance. It was pretty lackluster, and I do think that has to do with the fact that the song doesn't really lend itself to a lot of choreography or theatrics. So in addition to it just being a pretty average song and an average performance, I'm even more disappointed because it shouldn't have been. Because this is Tori's big moment, like give her a big song and a big performance. So yeah, it was just really disappointing for me. Number 20.
365 ways to get to you.
365 days. So in my initial ranking of Victoria's songs, I didn't include this song at all because I was going based off the songs on Spotify, and apparently this song is a bonus track on the album. So I never saw it, and I completely forgot about it because honestly it's not that memorable of a song or that memorable of a performance. So in this episode, Andre has developed a crush on Jade, but he feels very guilty about it because Jade's the girlfriend of his best friend. So he decides to write a song to express his feelings to her, but replace her name with the word baby. And he performs this song to her to get the feelings out of his system, and I guess it eventually worked. But yeah, the performance was kind of just okay. I do think the harmonies between Andre and Tori were really good. I did like the singing, but it really wasn't a memorable performance for me. Number 19.
The only reason that I'm not afraid to fly.
You're the reason. So it's Trina's birth week, and Tori came up with the idea to write and perform a song as her present, and I do think the performance was really good. There were some moments where it's kind of obvious that it was a body double and not Victoria performing. I have to catch those things. I just thought it was really funny. The bridge of the song is the best part, and I'm not going to be including any of the music videos in this ranking, but I will say the acoustic version of this song is so much better. Like, this part of the acoustic version goes crazy.
It's crazy that someone could change me.
But overall, I do think that this performance was just okay. And honestly, I wish we saw Tori give a performance like this at the Music Awards. Even if she performed this song at the Platinum Music Awards, I would have been fine. Number 18.
When I make it shine, make it shine.
Make It Shine remix. Now I have to preface this by saying I do like the Make It Shine remix more than the original version, but the only reason I'm putting this so low is because I wish it was longer. I do think the performance was good, and I did like the harmonies between Victoria and Andre. They were impeccable. Whenever they team up, you just know that the song is going to be performed well vocally at the very least. I always like when they do that layering thing where they sing at the same time but it's different lines.
But what it will come to if only somebody could hear.
And the performance was good enough to get them both readmitted into Hollywood Arts, so it's a win. Number 17. Countdown. So another duet with Andre and Tori. This song was performed for Andre's girlfriend's birthday because her dad was like this big record producer. I do like this song a lot more than 365 Days. I have to be honest with you guys, I like the production and the pop beat. Tori again does her jumping on table thing, which I like. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I like when she does that. And then when they have this little feet thing, I know it's a pretty basic dance move, but I just like seeing them do it. Like, it just gets to me. Number 16. Here's to Us. 3 Tori and Andre performances back to back. I really do like this song a lot. I think that it is one of the most underrated Victoria's tracks ever. It's just such a good song, and honestly I would have put it up higher if we were just doing Victoria's tracks and not performances, but I have to put it here because the performance is just not that special. It's not that great or memorable, and they didn't even perform the best part of the song, which was the ending. Like, they skipped over the best parts, and even in the context of the episode, the performance isn't that important. Like, it's just a performance that they did at the end of the episode. So for that, even though I really love this song and think it deserves more love, I'm gonna have to just leave it here because the performance wasn't great enough. Number 15.
So tell me that you love me, yeah.
Tell Me That You Love Me. This is another really underrated Victoria song. When I say most of the songs from Victoria aren't great, I'm not talking about this one. This is actually a really good song, and the performance of it is so great as well. Whenever Victoria and Andre sing together, it's so well done. It's really sweet and calming, and the way that she does that run at the end.
There's nothing left to say. It's Tell me that you love me anyway.
Amazing. Number 14.
All I want is everything, yes, everything, yeah. Oh.
All I Want Is Everything. So this is a group performance with Tori, Andre, Jade, Kat, and Trina. And actually, I think the song is okay. I don't mind the song, and the performance to me was really funny and iconic because at the end, Tori literally blinds a dictator. But even before that, the dancing and the vocal harmonies between the rest of the cast really made the song that much better. And of course, this part has been going viral on TikTok, which I just think is hilarious. Number 13. Shut Up and Dance. Okay, so this is another Victorious track that I think is really underrated. This is one of those Victorious performances where the vocal performance in the show is so much better than the official soundtrack, because this is one of those rare instances where every cast member has some part in the performance. But on the official soundtrack of this song, Victoria is the only person on the song, with the exception of maybe Ariana's harmonies being in the background, and you can barely hear them. But in the performance on the show, every cast member gets a line to sing, and it just gives the song more depth and levels, more ups and downs. It feels more layered when everybody else is on the track as opposed to just Victoria's vocals. They bring up Ariana's harmonies so you hear them more. And it just sounds amazing. Even Trina sounds really good singing, and everybody gets to sing. It's just so amazing. I really hate this episode because I hate the non-linear plotline, but as random as it is to have them do this performance at the end of the episode, I really do like it. Number 12. I Want You Back. Now normally I really hate when the Victorious cast does covers. I hate covers because I think that when Victorious does covers, it's oftentimes so much worse than the original. And in my official ranking of Victorious tracks, I had this cover ranked last, but I will say that the performance of it in the show did make the cover a lot better. I did enjoy it because the other cast members are singing. We did get ad-libs and vocal flourishes from Kat and Andre. Jade gets to sing a little, but like it just makes the performance so much better. And then Tori does this amazing high kick at the end, and this part of the song is just incredible. The choreography and theatrics really sold it for me, and in the episode, this performance served as a distraction to get them out of prison, which is just perfect. Number 11. Finally Falling. Now this is one of the more middle of the road Victorious songs for me. I don't think it's really great or that memorable, but I do think the performance really does elevate the song. So in the episode, Tori has zombie makeup stuck to her face, and she has to do this play the entire time looking like a zombie. At the very end of the play, Kat and Trina were able to get the makeup off of her in the middle of the performance, and the whole sequence of Tori starting out the performance looking like a zombie, having to leave halfway through the performance to get the makeup removed, and the dancers and background performers having to stall while she's getting the makeup removed, and then we do this big reveal of Tori coming back out with the makeup gone and Beck lifting her into the air. It's just too good. I love theatrics, I love big reveals, so this was just really up my alley. So even though I don't think the song is that great, it's one of the more middle of the road Victorious songs, I do think the performance of it is really good. And we get to hear Beck sing for the first time, which I don't know why he never sang more. Number 10.
My soul is true. I'll give you my
Song to You. So this is one of the better Victorious songs. It's performed by Andre and Tori, where Andre is proving himself as a serious songwriter to our record label, and he has reworked the favorite food song into Song to You. And it's a really good song, and the performance of it is so good. Again, I really do think that Andre and Tori complement each other so well vocally. The bridge to this song is amazing.
I'll give you my heart, my soul, my voice, baby.
The outro is amazing. Just overall a very solid performance. My only gripe is that at the end of the episode, they kind of implied that the performance was so good that Andre got a record deal, but we never got any follow-up to that. Like, there were still episodes where they were still chasing record deals. So what happened there? Number 9.
It's Christmas and the start of something new.
It's Not Christmas Without You. Again, another very middle of the road Victoria song. Like, this isn't an amazing Christmas song, but I do think the performance makes the song so much better. The costumes are kinda but we get great choreography, the harmonies are good, and also this is the only song where we have the three girls singing. They should have had that happen more often. We got Jade and Kat harmonizing, we even have Andre coming in at the very end to belt out some notes. I mean, this song deserves this place for this note alone. Tori dug deep for that growl. Like, I would unironically listen to this song at Christmas time. Number 8. You Don't Know Me. So this is a vocal performance by Jade, and the only song she ever sings on her own throughout the entire show, which is more than we can say for Kat. This is the song that officially got Jade and Beck back together, and I really do like Liz's performance on the song. I'm not particularly crazy about the song on its own, like I think it's an okay song, but I do think that Liz's performance vocally and the performance in the actual show does make the song that much better. And you can just feel Jade's anger and angst throughout the performance. I just really liked it. Number 7. Best Friend's Brother. Best Friend's Brother is one of the better Victoria soundtracks. I think it's actually a really good song, but I do think the performance in the show is just so much better. We get a vocal performance from Kat and Andre as well, and you know, adding any other cast member to a Victoria track automatically makes it better. So it's sad that we don't get these harmonies on the official soundtrack, but Kat's harmonies in this performance does make it so much better. Number 6. LA Boyz. This is definitely one of those instances where I don't think the performance necessarily elevated the song because the song was already really good to begin with. I love that we get instances of Tori performing with Jade and performing with Kat, and Kat and Jade even performing together. I like that there's a good mix. I do think that even though this isn't the superior combination, Tori and Kat's vocal performance was well balanced. Number 5. Give It Up. Now, I do think that Liz Gillies performs so well with the other girls. I just one of the perfect examples of that. Liz and Kat's harmonies, vocal layering, it's all done so impeccably, and the reason why this performance is also such a big deal in the Victorious fandom is because this was the first time that we learned that these characters could sing, because this is the first time either of them have ever sung in the entire show, well, at least seriously. And man, that was a really great reveal. It just completely blew us away. They were really well balanced and the performance was just crazy. Just overall a very good performance. Those high notes, bro. Number 4. Freak the Freak Out. Okay, y'all are gonna be mad at me for this. Coming at number 4 is Freak the Freak Out. Now let me explain. I do think that Give It Up is a better song than Freak the Freak Out. And I do think that the vocal performance on Give It Up is better. But I don't think that the Give It Up performance, we're talking performances here, I don't think that the Give It Up performance was better than the Freak the Freak Out performance. So even though I think that Give It Up is a better song, the only reason I'm giving the slight edge to the Freak the Freak Out performance is because of the reveal. Like I said, I love theatrics, I love a good reveal. So the reveal of those girls picking Tori in a disguise, which by the way, why did they just assume that the frumpy looking girl would just be a bad singer? Like, I don't get it. But Tori slowly taking off the disguise while performing, the girls thinking that they still stood a chance even though she was singing really good, but I guess they thought they would win just because she looks weird. And then Tori slowly taking off the disguise and the girls being shocked and confused, she putting her hands on the mic stand and then just whipping out the mic and then strutting down the stage and then doing a hair flip at the high note. I don't know, you guys, I just love a really good theatric performance. So even though the song isn't spectacular and even though Tori's vocal performance isn't necessarily better, I just think that the overall performance on the stage is better. She jumps on people's tables, which I know some people find annoying, but I love it. I love when she does that. I don't know, I just think that the Freak Out performance, again, not the song, just the performance, was slightly better than the Give It Up performance. And in full extraness, she drops to her knees at the end. Bro, this is a performance. We really need to have a serious conversation about Tori's stage presence. I'm sorry, this girl is a star. It doesn't matter that she's not the best singer. You give me a decent enough song, decent vocals, and a full-out performance, I'm on your side. Perfect example of being able to do a lot with very little. Number 3.
Tomorrow you'll be everybody's fascination.
Make It Shine. So this was the performance that kicked off the entire show. I think Make It Shine is an okay song. I actually like it, but I don't think it's the best song they've put out. But I do think that performance was a really high that show established and that they've been chasing ever since. So few performances ever come close to that first performance of Make It Shine, which is insane to me. Again, like I said, I really do love theatrics, so her starting off really slow and soft and then building up into that high note, all of the background dances, and then her hitting that choreography, I don't care what anybody says, she killed that shit. So yeah, Make It Shine isn't a great song, the remix is way better, but this performance is one of the best that the show has ever had. So I do think that the performance was really good. Obviously it was the performance that got her accepted into Hollywood art, so it's obviously a very important performance. I just think she did a good job, and I wish we got more performances from her at this level. Like, this could have been the Platinum Music Awards performance. I'm gonna keep bringing it up because it pisses me off. Number 2, Take a Hint.
To take a hint, take a hint.
Now this is without a doubt the best song from Victorious ever. Take a Hint is the best song from Victorious. It is the song that sounds the most like you could hear anywhere, but even though I think it's the best Victorious song, I don't necessarily think this was the best Victorious performance. I do think it comes very close though, mostly because the song is actually really good. Like, this song invented feminism. Again, I think Liz Gillies has this talent of being able to perform really well with anybody, because she gave us that really good performance with Kat, and then we got this really good performance with Tori. I just wish that they sang more together because they complement each other so well. And obviously there was that part in the song that was a sexual awakening for so many people. Live slowly counting down, the harmonies between these two, the stage presence is really great. I just wish we got more of this. They really hit the jackpot here. Now for the best Victorious performance of all time, the number 1 spot, Beggin' on Your Knees. Now, I don't think that Beggin' on Your Knees is the best Victorious song, but I do think it's a really good song, and I really like it, but I do think the performance really elevated the song to a whole other level. I think it's the best performance in the entire show. Again, I really love theatrics, so the fact that this song was written and performed to kind of shame the guy that she was dating who was using her for a good grade, it being revealed that he wasn't actually going to be a part of the performance, and then she just performing this song about how he's no good and he doesn't deserve her. I think it's just so great. The background dancers are really good. This is one of the few performances where we get really good choreography. I feel like we never saw choreography like this since her Make It Shine performance. And fun fact, the actor that plays Lane actually choreographed the dance moves. And then the absolute best part of the song is the bridge. Bro, that bridge where she hits that high note, even Jade has to be happy for her because of how amazing that was. Just the epicness and awesomeness and theatrics of it all just makes it so amazing. It's so crazy because this was literally the season 2 premiere. This was season 2 episode 1, and they just never had a performance that was better than this for the rest of the show. It's like they gave up after this. Why did we never get more full out background dancers, lighting, stage, choreography, pop dance song? Like, why was this the last time we ever saw something like this? This is insane. But yeah, definitely worth the hype. Definitely earned that number 1 spot. So that's it. That's my ranking of Victorious performances. Now obviously this is all just my subjective opinion. This is based on my experience watching the show. This is how I felt about these performances and these songs. So if you felt differently, it's perfectly fine. Let me know what your ranking would be in the comments down below. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one.